Hello and welcome to Monday stream, everyone. All right, so we're trying something a little bit different today. We're trying a new segment that we haven't actually done on our streams before. So the first time, we're going to be doing a live review of something on stream for the first time. And by the way, for this particular week, this is probably the only single-player segment we are going to have on stream all week. The rest are going to be viewer games. So for those who are craving that instead, don't worry, you're going to be getting a lot of that this week. Also, for those who don't know, I made a goof. In the schedule. Wednesday had to be adjusted because I messed up the date or the time on that. It's fine. That's really clever to use the flowers to trap the lemon in a box. That's smart. Alright. So, first things first, I'm gonna, clean this one. Because I kind of forgot to do that before I went live, which quite frankly I probably should have done earlier today, but oh well, I was too busy adding these. That's old. That prediction's old, by the way. But we actually have little overlays now. The poll overlay is also back. I did a test on that earlier. So we have these back now. Part of the multi. Also, Discord overlay is back, by the way. I took your feedback. I got it working. So Discord overlay is back on stream now. For good this time. So even when we have even when we're reintegrating everything to support the multi-PC, we're going to have the Discord overlay. Do your essay. Just oh no, just don't do a SpongeBob. Also, yeah, I'm good on the what's the essay about anyway? But yeah, no. Aerospace engineering. You might want to talk to Dev Navat about that one. He might be able to give you some advice on aerospace engineering, considering he's a literal engineer. I don't know if that's his specialty, but he's literally an engineer, so you might want to talk to Dev about that one. He's probably going to be more of an expert in that department than me. Alright, let me clean the back of this one here. This is my old one, by the way. Alright, so let me give a quick summary, real quick, before we get started. Actually, no, I gotta do that after I get everything out. Let's just jump right into it. Oh, crap, you know what else I forgot? I forgot in the other room. Sorry, Hannah, I'm gonna borrow your controller for a moment. Sorry, Hannah, I'm gonna have to borrow this. I'm going to need it, at least for now. Or, should I say Comrade Hannah, because it's our controller now. Alright, so we got 3 controllers we're going to be comparing, and we're going to be trying, for the first time, 8bitdo's latest controller. This is the 8bitdo Ultimate C. This is the latest controller in their flagship series of controllers, which are the 8bitdo Ultimate controllers. Now, one thing to clear up with this controller, there are actually 3 different versions of the C. Actually, there are 4 different versions of the Ultimate controller. The first is the regular Ultimate controller, not Ultimate C, just Ultimate, which is the $70 version which is kind of like that's kind of their big one. It has all the functionality built into it. It's got Bluetooth, 2.4 gigahertz support, which, by the way, 2.4 gigahertz is basically wireless, but not crap like Bluetooth, because Bluetooth is really bad for latency. At least I found of 8bitdo's stuff, I find that it's not as good. 8bitdo is it's very expensive though, but that's the advantage of the C versions. C versions are half of that. There are actually 3 different versions of the type of the Ultimate C controller. It's kind of like iPhone. It's a lot like iPhone, where there are it's like there's iPhone 15, and there's a lot of different versions of that. It's the same thing with this. There are 3 different versions of the Ultimate C controller. Yes, I did brush my hair in the middle of this. The other 2 versions are the Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz version. The one we're going to be looking at today is this one. We're going to be looking at the Nintendo Switch version. Now, the Switch version, the Ultimate C for Switch, runs about $30. I think there are 3 color options. I think there's blue, orange, and pink. I got the blue one in this case. This runs for about $30. However, there's also a 2.4 gigahertz version for PC that runs for about the same price. So if you're getting this for PC and don't care about motion controls, you might want to get that one. However, there's also a cheaper version that's Bluetooth for $20. And I gotta say, compared to the $70 that you'd have to pay for a stock Switch Pro controller, that is a lot less. So if you're in need of controllers quickly for a low budget, this is a good option. And 8bitdo is actually a pretty good company in terms of controllers. I've actually been using their flagship Pro 2, the predecessor to the Ultimate series, for like 3 or 4 years now. I've been using this one for a very, very, very long time. So I have experience with 8bitdo products. So all that fluff out of the way. Now you know there are like all the different versions. Let's get right into it. I have actually not opened this, so we're going to do that first. First step is to open it. And I'm just going to use these scissors I have to open this up, I think. I just got to take the seal off, which is kind of tricky. I should really have gotten a knife. But oh wait, hold on. You know what? I think this will just peel off. I don't even think I have to do that. I think this little round sticker on the top should just come off. Let me see if I can just peel it a little bit, then I can give you the ASMR experience with this thing. It's a good sound. I have never actually opened this at all. This is the first time I've actually seen this controller, so we're going to open it up. I'm going to try to do this on camera, but I may have to do a little bit off. Flap off, and we're just going to open up that box. Very satisfying sounds. Yep, it's about what you'd expect. It's just a box, but we're not... Yeah, you know, 8bitdo is very good. I've been using their controllers specifically and exclusively for like 4 years. So I should know a thing or two about these. Alright, so, gotta be careful with that. We're gonna put that aside for now. So this is the inner box. Not much to really see. It looks like we got a controller cable. This is actually a little nicer, actually, than their previous cables. I have some of their other ones, and they're flat and gray. This feels a little nicer. I like the color, too. But let's take a look at the length and see if that's any good. We'll compare that to the one I have here. My third-party one. Oh, yeah, I have the original SF, too. I actually got the original SNES-style one. I still have that somewhere. Like, the original one. That was just the SNES one. That was before they went to the Pro, like, models and stuff. So I see you have them as well. I remember when that first came out, when the 8bitdo controllers first came out, and I was, like, just so happy that there was a modern version of what I grew up on available. Also, what's up? What's up, Heck Frog? Is the item shop good today? Oh, yeah. No, same. Same. When that sucker came out, I had to get it. Alright, we got some basic packaging here. Not much to really see, but we got this guy. Oh, this feels nice already, actually. So that's a nice color on this. I'm glad I picked the blue one. They actually have little... Nice packaging, actually. They actually included ways to protect the analog sticks. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe these are actually Hall Effect. I believe the newest models have Hall Effect joysticks. I'm not sure about the Pro, like the C model, though. I'm not sure the C model has this, but I know the Ultimate one does. Take that off. Alright, so it's got a brand new look to this, and I actually like the textured feel of the back already. And mind you, this is a $30 controller. This is like half the price of an official Switch one. Okay, so we got some things in the Switch version that are specific. Okay, one thing I will say, I'm not sure how I feel about... I really don't know how I feel about the front paddles. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the front paddles yet. This is the first impression. They're clicky, they're tactile and all. I don't know if I like the feel of that as much as the Pro 2. It's kind of hard to say. I really like the SNES feel of the Pro 2. So it's kind of hard to say. I kind of like that. However, I will say though, right, we have the front triggers here. The back triggers, on the other hand, feel pretty good, in my personal opinion. Listen to that sound. The back triggers feel fantastic, by the way. I just want to point out, like, holding this in my hand. Back triggers feel good. The analog sticks, actually, are they shorter or longer? They're the same as the... They feel about the same as the Pro 2. I do like the fact that if you compare, like, the Switch Pro controller together, you might notice the analog sticks are a little taller. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but they are taller on the original Pro controller. But I actually prefer them being a little shorter. Actually, it's hard to say, though. Are these taller? It's kind of hard to tell. These might actually be just a little taller. It feels a little different. Now, maybe it's because they're Hall effect. They feel a little different, but maybe because I haven't worn them in yet, so maybe that's why. Yeah, also, if you don't like symmetrical stick, this is an asymmetrical controller, so it's nice. I like the feel of the analog stick. It's gonna take a little getting used to. I think, you know what the real issue is? I think they're the same, but they're asymmetrical, and I've been using a symmetrical controller for so long that it feels weird going back to an asymmetrical controller. It feels very, very weird. What's Hall effect? Oh, mom, the typos. Hall effect is a newer joystick. They're supposed to be better quality and not supposed to drift. It's just a new type of analog stick. I will say one thing. I've never really had issues with drift on any of these controllers. Like, I've used these for a while. I have never experienced drift on a single 8bitdo controller that I've used. At least nothing noticeable. I will say one thing. I've had main boards in the controller. I've had those die on me and start doing weird stuff well before I've had analog sticks fail. So the controller's main board will probably die on you before the analog sticks give out. So you're probably not going to have to worry about that. I don't know how that is the new one, but I know with the Pro 2, I've had quite a few main boards die on me. I had to replace a few of these, or a couple of these already from that issue. Unfortunately, I've not had that really happen with this one yet, which is good. But I'm not sure that's still an issue with... I don't know if that's an issue. It's H-A-L-L. It's Hall effect. So it's... Okay, that makes more sense. It's H-A-L-L. Duck, that's disgusting. And I said that was disgusting. It costs you $0 to not say that. What do you mean one part of that was true? That's this. And I said that was disgusting. Mid-review, that's basic. That's just your opinion, man. One thing I will say, though, I like how it feels. Oh, I love the start select buttons, though. I know it's not the SNES style ones anymore, but this does feel really good. You got the little home button here, too. Does this actually work as a home button? I wonder. I bet they can't turn on the console still, but it is nice. I will say the Oh. Okay. We might have something pretty interesting here. The D-pad feels a little different from the original D-pad here. It feels a little bit better, almost. It's hard to say. I haven't used it in game yet, but the D-pad, it kind of feels almost a little closer to the original. It might actually be closer to the actual SNES version. Like, don't get me wrong, I like these D-pads. Oh, it's hard to say, though. The Pro 2 feels similar, too. I think it might actually be a step up from the Pro 2. It's hard to say, because I really like the symmetrical layout but this D-pad already feels maybe a little bit better. It feels kind of like some of the older ones they've made, which is nice. I will say one thing, it's kind of hard to beat some other D-pads. Like, in my opinion, the Wii U and 3DS have some of the best tactile D-pads. It's kind of hard to beat that, but this is really, really good. I have to try it in a game, though. We haven't gotten that far yet, but so far, it feels good. You know, one thing, I know they went for more of, like, the rounded buttons. Like, if you look at the A buttons, you might notice they're a little more round. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of gotten used to the squarish capped, or like square cap buttons that are flat on the top. I don't know. I know it's supposed to be like kind of like an Xbox controller in that regard. They kind of based it on that. I'm not sure how I feel about it. That might take a little getting used to as well. You could probably mod these buttons though, to be honest, if you really don't like that. But you know, that's probably more pain than it's worth. I will say one thing though: the D-pad way better than the Pro controller. The D-pad on the Pro, it's fine. It's okay. It kind of feels like you're fighting it at points. I feel like it's at least a step up from that. Just swap the buttons out. There are probably ways you can do that if you like know what you're doing. That's a little more advanced though. Here's the only thing though. We've only looked at this at a first glance. It's a good controller from what it feels like so far. The grip feels good. Buttons feel good on it. But one thing we have not tried yet. I gotta say, the ergonomics feel really good. This feels really natural to hold too. Like when I'm holding this thing, like it just feels natural. Even the asymmetrical layout feels natural to me, which is a huge deal. All right. Now, let's put these to the test. It's one thing to see me talking about the controller. It's another issue to just actually try it in real games. So we're going to do just that. We're going to be testing 4 different games. 2 of the games are going to be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now, to be clear, we're only going to be testing the motion controls in those games. So we're not going to be in either of those for very long. Those are specifically just to test the gyroscopes, and that's about it. Which is one of the things we're going to be doing, is testing the gyroscopes. We're going to see if they've maybe improved it. Because the one thing I will say about the Pro 2 is that the gyroscope's good, but it's not as good as the OEM controllers. So that we're going to see if it's any better. The main 2 games we're going to be testing the controller with are Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Fortnite Battle Royale. 2 of games I'm sure you all are very familiar with at this point on the channels, especially Fortnite. So, Mario Wonder is a great game for testing the 2D platforming aspect of the controller, which is a great way to test the D-pad on this. And the other game is going to be Fortnite, which is more of a 3D game. It's also going to help kind of test that. And it will also test the gyroscope, but we're going to get to that in a bit. And, by the way, we're going to be doing this in real games, too. Real gameplay. This is going to be real, 100%. For Mario Wonder, we're just going to do the early levels in the game, or levels I've already played, just so we don't make any progress, because we're going to save the actual gameplay, like new gameplay, for the actual Mario Wonder streams. And Fortnite, we're just going to do some very simple testing. We're not going to spend too long on this, because I don't want to have this go on for too long. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with Mario Wonder first. We're going to be comparing all 3 controllers in Mario Wonder as well. And same for Fortnite. We have the Switch Pro. We got the current one I'm using, the Pro 2. And of course, we also have the Ultimate C. We're going to be testing all 3 to see if it's any good. We're also going to be testing other things like the gyroscope and if there's any lag with the Bluetooth, ease of setup. And by the way, to test this controller on PC, we are going to be using third-party software called Rewazd. This controller probably will not work out of the box on PC, at least not well, so we're going to be using third-party software for PC games, so keep that in mind. And also, if you have a PC, you might want to get Rewazd or something like that as well. There are maybe some free pieces of software, but they're probably not as good as Rewazd. So if you are going to get this for PC as well, if you have a Switch and computer, you're going to want to do that. Also, I thank you for reminding me. I saw that at the beginning of stream. By the way, thank you for the resub, Traycorn. I do appreciate it. You don't need it. You do if you want to use the built-in gyroscope functions in Fortnite, for example. So, in a way, you might, but that depends on what you need. All right, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to get my monitor just switched over a bit. We're going to turn on the switch. And we're going to get started. Oh, yeah, you know what? Before we do this, there's one more thing we need to compare. The cable. We need to look at the cable. All right, so here is mine, which, by the way, I can't even... It's so long, I can't fit it on the screen. So, this is the third-party one I have. It's, what is this? Soupy? S-O-O-P-I-I. Soupy. This is the current cable I'm using, and even has a little display on it. I got this a while back because I wanted something longer that would work with my setup, but let's compare that to the stock color. One advantage, by the way, is the controller cable matches the color of the controller, but let's take a look. I will say it feels a little better. I do wish it was braided, but one thing to note, though, this is pretty small. Let me just show you. In comparison, let me get both cables. I have them side by side here, and I'm just going to show you. I'm going to keep pulling this here, and boop, it stops right there. But the third-party cable I have is pretty long. I mean, I think the first-party one's fine. Like, it's fine. It stretches out about this. So it's about this. It's hard to show you that actual measurements. I will say, if you're going to be very far away from your console, or you need length, get a third-party cable. You're going to want that, because this one is pretty short. So you're going to want to get a third-party cable that's longer and decent quality if you're going to be playing, say, in docked mode, maybe sitting further away from your console. So that is one thing to keep in mind when you get this controller. You're going to want to keep that in mind. So, in that case, I'm going to be using my own cable in this case, just because that is... Whoop. I am dropping things. Where did that cable go? Oh, shoot. I lost the cable. Hold on. Oh, never mind. Okay, there it is. It's fine. We have it. Under control. Everything's fine. Yep. That does actually remind me. One thing to keep in mind... This controller will probably work. This will work with Switch. It's designed for it. You could also get the other versions if you want PC support. Now, one thing, I know this has X input. I know that I think 2.4 gigahertz is X input. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. One thing to keep in mind for Xbox users, I've heard Xbox recently did a SCUM update. And that disables third-party controllers from working. That might include this. I haven't tested it. I'm not sure. I swear big companies are just trying to upset their user base at this point, from what it seems. But keep that in mind. However, they do have Xbox-branded versions. One thing about 8bitdo that is unique is they did actually partner with Xbox. So they might have Xbox-specific versions of the Ultimate controller, so do keep that in mind. There might actually be Xbox. So if you're an Xbox user, you might be able to get it working with one of those. I don't know if the Ultimate Series regular Ultimate Series or C Series will work, so I'm not really sure. So keep that in mind. PC and Switch will basically work out of the box, depending on which version you get. And the regular Ultimate version that's $70, should work as well. Also, other thing to keep in mind, the C version does not use paddles. Now, if that's a deal breaker for you, that's fine. I personally never found a use for the paddles, so that might actually not be a bad thing. If you're using it for Switch, it should work, but we're going to actually take a look at this. For $30, though, you can't really complain about the price point, especially compared to the $70 Pro. Alright, let's get right into it. Enough fluff. Let me get my Switch console turned on, and let's plug this sucker in. We're going to start with Mario Wonder first. I think it's a good starting point. We're going to see if this just connects. Now, one thing I am going to test, does this work over USB? Let's go over to our capture setup, and let's take a look. Does this work over USB? That's a huge deal for me. I like wired connections better for my controllers. It has better latency. Let's take a look. It does. So right off the rip, we're gaming. As long as you have USB wired support enabled in your system settings on Switch, it will work with USB. So that's really, really good. Look at it, even has a glowing button on it. Let me show you this. There's even a button that glows. Hold on a second. Turn off Jacob's ring light.
Got it. Turning off Jacob's ring light.
Look at that. Okay, turn on the ring light. Okay, hold on. Turn on Jacob's ring light.
Alright, turning Jacob's ring light on.
Hey, that's pretty cool. It's got a glowing light on it. That's pretty nice. Alright, let's move this. Do I do up or down for this game? I don't remember what I did. I think it's down. Let's get in our cartridge and let's look at it. So far, my first impressions are pretty good, but let's actually try it with a game. So we're going to get this cartridge and I switched out. Where did I put my copy of Mario? On this thing. I need to get a Switch cartridge holder for my desk. Getting one for my desk would be really nice. Let's boot up Mario Wonder. Let's play some levels we've already played. Let's give this thing a try. No, it is wireless. We're going to test that out as well, the latency of it. I have had some issues, depending on environment, with wireless before on 8bitdo controllers. It's not as good. Yeah, I'll turn friend online if anyone wants to do that. That's fine. We are going to be using a regular character in this case. Like, I'm going to be using, like, it doesn't really matter. We'll do Luigi and Mario. Let's go ahead and fast travel. It's going to take a little getting used to. Actually, you know one thing? I think the start select buttons, I know they're not the SNES theme anymore, but I do like their positioning. It feels really easy to press these buttons. Actually, it's easier to press these buttons than the Switch Pro controller. So that's already a step up from the OEM one. And it's half the price. And and the ergonomics feel good so far too. So not bad, 8bitdo. The analog sticks feel a little different, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just might be something to get used to. I'm going to be using D-pad primarily for this game. Let's go to like some of the early levels. We're gonna be testing let's do like Piranha Plants on Parade in like World 1 and 2. We're gonna speed through these and just see how we do. No badges. We're not gonna use any badges. We're just gonna use stock abilities in this case. Alright, we're using, you know what? Hold on. We might wanna like first, I'm just gonna do friends only. Also, that might be better in this case, because it might not lag as badly with the netcode when playing with friends. So we're just gonna open a room. If you're on my list, fine. If not, you can add me, whatever. I'm not setting a password. We're just gonna open this up for anyone who wants to join in. We're not gonna be doing this too long, but you know. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at my first impressions with the actual D-pad and all that. I'll try to be a little bit more commentative. So far, it feels good. The buttons, I gotta say, going from the Pro 2, feel a little bit weird to get used to. It does feel good in your hands.
What a beautiful day! Wow, sorry.
I mean, it feels good. Like I said, Luigi's voice actor in this game is just really good. No, we gotta get Wonder. So far, it feels pretty good. I mean, the buttons, I gotta say, those round buttons are kind of hard to get used to, but if you're an Xbox user, that might not be a big issue. But I'm not used to that. I'm used to, like, the flatter buttons on the Pro 2. You think you would have trouble going from a symmetrical controller to the Ultimate C. It does not feel bad. Like, it's pretty easy to get used to. I wish they did have a version of symmetrical, but honestly, it's not bad. Thank you for the lurk, by the way. It feels pretty good so far. I will say that. Now, let's be honest. This is all the moment you've been waiting for. I mean, it feels pretty responsive. The D-pad is not giving me any issues, by the way. Like, I've had no issues with the D-pad during this. I've had no issues so far with the D-pad. It's been doing me pretty good. Again, it's a little weird getting used to the buttons. I kind of wish they were square. And more flat capped, like the Switch Pro and the Pro 2. You could probably swap those out, though, but I do wish that was the case. I wish they weren't as round. Luigi's crouch animation is so good. I'm not gonna lie, this feels good. I mean, the inputs feel completely accurate over wired. So, okay, how do I get up there? There we go. I mean, it feels good. Again, the buttons are really hard to get used to so far. I think that's the hardest part. I thought the asymmetrical layout, like the layout was gonna be hard to get used to. I think it's the round buttons, like the more rounded buttons that are hard to get used to for me. Like, that's the biggest adjustment I've made. But remember, I went from, like, Switch Pro to Pro 2, 8bitdo Pro 2 to this. So I'm not an Xbox user, so maybe Xbox users won't have that problem. Every other platform, though, of controller, you might have a little trouble getting used to that. But it doesn't feel bad. I do kind of like the feel of the previous buttons a little better, but at the same time, it feels good. I'm just not really used to that rounded button feel. But so far, it feels responsive. It just feels a little weird to get used to. Let's go to a harder level this time. For the last test. Do they have Axel? Oh, I know you don't like that flow emote in, like, the item shop. Like, or memes. I know you don't like that one in particular. Also, hello there. Welcome to stream, Wyatt. Okay, so far, it feels good. D-pad feels incredible. Like, the D-pad is not giving me any issues this game. I don't know if I'm gonna go through this whole level, but it feels good. I kind of messed up there. It's fine. So far, it's a Mario. I should have changed the category for this game. It's fine. Hold on, can we speedrun this? Can I damage buffer? Ah, Luigi's dead! That's fine. It feels good. It feels good so far, at least in my opinion. Like, I'm not noticing any real issues with this controller. So, not bad. Not bad, 8bitdo, not bad. Now, one thing I do want to actually kind of test is I want to see how this feels on wireless. I've had issues with wireless before with 8bitdo, so let's see how it feels when I take that wire out and just use it over Bluetooth. The Switch is pretty close to me, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Here we go.
Let's go to another level, and let's see how it feels over wireless. Let's see how it feels. It felt good on wired. Let's see how Bluetooth does. Because not everyone's like me and is like a freak about wanting to use wired connections. I mean, honestly, it feels almost the same. I'm not noticing any. If Mario Wonder, I notice no significant problems. Like, it feels the same on wireless as it does. And I've had issues with 8bitdo's wireless one before. So they might... It could be because I'm close to it. Maybe my environment's good for it. So that your environment could determine how everything plays for you. So keep that in mind. Your environment, what's around you, might determine that. But it feels good so far. Like, I'm noticing absolutely no issues. And that's wireless. Honestly, feels fantastic over wireless. So, for those worried about that, that is not really an issue. Not bad. Not bad at all. Also, I think I found the perfect level for testing that. You saw how fast I was going in that level, too. Like, that just shows to show how good this is. The Bluetooth feels good. I think for casual gameplay, you're not really going to notice any differences between the two. I still recommend wired because of latency, but if you're more of a casual player, you're not going to notice that issue. Now, I want to test one thing. I'm going to step back away from the console a bit, and I'm going to see if going further away makes it any difference, and see if it affects it. Let's find out. So I'm going to go as far away as I can. I kind of have trouble seeing the screen from here, but I'm going to go a little farther away, maybe even between some stuff. Let's see if that's any better. Or any worse. And so far, I'm not noticing a lick of a difference. I mean, I'm on the other side of the room, even though it's a small room. I'm on the other side. There are objects in between me and the controller and the console. And so far, everything feels incredibly responsive. It's kind of hard to see past some of my objects, though, I will say that. But it is working. So that is definitely a step up. I remember having issues before. This particular version is not having that. I don't know if it has to do with the Switch version specifically or not. Oops. But so far, not noticing any issues at all. I will say my gameplay kind of sucks because I can barely see what I'm doing. That is something to keep in mind, but overall it feels pretty good. E. Okay, I went to the other side of the room with this thing, and that felt good. The latency alone feels pretty solid. So, if you like to use wireless controllers, you're not going to have really any issues. Like, unless your environment is weird or jank or filled with metal just everywhere, or unless you're like in another room entirely, you're not going to notice it. But let's be honest, if you have a TV or a monitor, your game console is going to be pretty close to it. So overall, good start. If you're an Xbox user, by the way, if you're used to Xbox controllers, if you're used to the Xbox ones, this is going to feel very similar. So, feels pretty good so far. And even the trigger buttons even the trigger buttons that I was kind of critiquing before feel pretty good so far of this controller. You think it'd be hard to get used to the asymmetrical design? Like from someone who's been using symmetrical for a long time. It feels good. Oh, and another cool thing, they have a proper... Is that a sync button on the top? It doesn't turn off the controller, but it does actually do stuff. It's kind of nice. So, yeah, that's a huge step up in that regard. The wireless, I was really concerned about the wireless that controller supported, and it feels good. But now let's give our old friend, the 8bitdo Pro 2, a try again. And let's see if this guy does any good. We're going to test only one level at this point. We're going to use wireless again. And see if there's a difference. I'm going to just kind of test it out again. So let's compare this to the Pro 2. Let's give some feedback. Now, I will say one thing. The Pro 2 still feels good. I gotta say, the D-pad feels better already on the new controller. And that's a huge step up. Like, it feels better compared to the Pro 2. It feels better. At least it's what I'm getting first impression-wise with it. So, there's that. I just ran right into the dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm still good at it. I gotta say, the D-pad might hurt my hands a little less, though. Like, it feels more comfortable with the new one. I think that's because they improved their D-pad. You know what I was talking about earlier? With that test? Other room, side of the room test? Let's do it again. Okay, let's try it again. This time I'm going to use the Pro 2. Okay, again, I'm not noticing any real issues. Maybe the older models had that issue. Maybe it's not as bad as the newer one. That or this environment maybe is better for it. But not noticing any real issues, though, with this one. Again, on the other side of the room, with objects in between, again. So, there is that. I gotta say, D-pad does feel a little better on the Ultimate C. So that is something to keep in mind. What do you mean a software update is required? Later. It just exited the friend room for no... What? Is there some kind of update that just happened? I'm so confused. There must be some kind of update. It's like telling me to update. That's really weird. Did the game just get an update or something? Really bizarre. Switch Online for you, I guess. Could be a Switch Online bug. Alright, one last one. We're going to test. I'm going to do this all over wireless. We're going to test the Pro controller. This is the stock one, and I'm going to just use wireless. So far, the wireless feels good on all three of these. I'm not noticing any real issues with latency or anything like that. It's working really, really, really nice so far. I will say, the D-pad is not as... It feels a little more uncomfortable on the Pro controller. Like, the D-pad isn't terrible on this, okay? It's not terrible, but it does feel like it has a little too much resistance on the stock Pro controller. This is not the Pro C. This is not the Ultimate C. This is the stock Switch Pro. Now, I will say, the rumble feature on this controller does use HD rumble, so if you care about that, you might want to stick to first party, because that does not happen. That is not a thing. That is not a thing with this one. So this does have that advantage. During the test, we're gonna be playing Fortnite and a couple other games. The actual segment is gonna be Mario Kart next. This game is very I'm just realizing more and more how much like Mario 3 this game is. Nice. Yeah, I mean, the Switch Pro controller feels good. I'll say one thing. I feel like the buttons on both the Switch Pro, and the Pro 2 are a little better. I personally like the more squared, flat buttons on these a little bit better. Now, maybe if you're more of an Xbox person, that's not really an issue. But I do like the buttons a little better on the other ones. You can see how these are a little more rounded on the top. I personally prefer the more square buttons. That might just be what I'm used to, but I think I wish that was an option at least for this. I do prefer that on the other ones. However, it's not necessarily bad though. Like the D-pad, however, I will say it feels better. Like just overall, the D-pad on this one feels so much better. Like it feels like the old controllers in all the right ways, and that is a huge thing. Nice. That's right, because they have the wired. Now, like I said, if you're getting this for Switch, you have to get the Switch version. This other versions may not work, depending on what you're using it for. So keep that in mind. There are 3 different versions. And each have some differences. Okay, for example, let me go to Amazon. The Ultimate C, is it the wired one? Keep in mind, that one... Is there actually a Switch version? No. Keep in mind, the wired one is for PC, Android, and like other stuff. So keep that in mind. That is not for Switch. So if you're getting the Switch version, you have to get the Bluetooth version for Switch. It will work as a wired controller, by the way. It does support wired. But, keep in mind, if you want Switch compatibility with motion controls included, you have to use this. The only way the other ones will work is if you get a third-party adapter. Yeah, let me put that in there. The other ones are good if you're on if you're maybe on PC or something else. I don't know if they work on Xbox. There are multiple colors for this, by the way. I'm gonna send this is like leading to the blue one, but you can choose another color if you prefer. Here is the Switch version on Amazon, by the way, for 30 bucks. This is a $30 version of the controller, by the way. But there are other options. It just depends on what you want. Overall, though, I'm liking it so far. First impressions are really good. Again, kind of hard to get used to with these face buttons here. I wish they were square, or flat-topped, not rounded on the top instead. But again, that's more of a minor nerf with it, and that's more of my preference. If you're an Xbox kind of person, though, or used to that kind of controller, that might not be an issue for you. That might be a non-issue, so just keep in mind. Also, I'm going to assume you might be able to swap these. I don't know if you can use Pro 2 buttons on this or not. I don't know if they're intercompatible. I haven't really tested that. Maybe we'll test that at some point. But if you like the round top buttons, not the flat top buttons, you see how they're rounded there a little bit? If you like that, then this is for you. You're gonna love that about this controller. That will not be an issue at all. All right, let's move on to our next game on our testing list. Sorry, we might go over just a tiny bit, but I'm gonna try to make this somewhat fast because I don't want to like take too long. The next one we're not going to spend too much time in, though, fortunately. I better save this first. Very funny. Alright, we're going to make this very quick, though, for the rest of our time. Just to make this fast. If you like the Xbox buttons, is it like the Xbox ones? Probably. I haven't used an Xbox controller. I don't think I've ever used a One, or at least not a long. I haven't used the Xbox One controllers, at least, or like a Series X one or whatever. I've never used the Series X ones. Haven't touched an Xbox One controller in ages, because I think I've only used it in public like once or twice. But it is probably like the Xbox One. So if that's a thing you like, you're going to like that about this controller. So if you do use Xbox controllers still, this will be pretty easy to go to, at least in my opinion. So that shouldn't really be a problem. Alright, we're going to plug this back in, and we're going to try with a different game. Oh, my Pro controller is trying to reconnect. We don't want that right now. And there it goes. It got paired over wired again. Let's go into our next one. We're only going to be spending a very, very tiny bit of time in tiers. Keep in mind, we're only going to be in here for like 5 minutes. Is the inner handle sharp in the palm? No. Okay. Oh, you mean like the inner part? Let's see. Let's find out. You're talking about like this part right here, right? Like down like right there. Is that the one you're talking about? Is it a good or bad thing you can friend yourself? That's basically the Obama like metal meme, but with friend lists. Yeah, thank you, Traycorn. I will say the edges here, these do not feel too sharp. It's got a little bit to it in the palm. If you're like deliberately going like this, but it's not gonna cut you. Like I'm going like this. That is not leaving a scratch. So, in terms of safety, unless you're like being a maniac, yeah, it's not gonna be an issue. And when I hold it in my hand, it feels good. So that shouldn't be an issue. I mean, I just freaking did this live. That's very dangerous. If that was sharp, I would have gotten nicked pretty good, and maybe have had to gone to the ER. So, hey, safety test works out. Please don't try that at home, by the way, ever, with something like that. Let stupid people, let dummies like me do that. Let us take the risks. Don't do that yourself. Like, don't ever try stuff like that yourself. That's a very, very, very bad idea. Good, JP. Thanks, chat. Very good. Very good. Alright. You grip... Okay. You grip it tight? Okay, let's really... I'm squeezing this. I am squeezing the crap out of this. You can't see it. I am putting force into this, and nothing. Like, it feels rounded on the edges there. Like, it feels comfortable. So... You see, that's the one nice thing about doing this live. You can do stuff like that. If someone has, okay, how do the grips feel? How does it work when you do this? I can do that. This is the one nice thing about live reviews, is you can do stuff like that on the fly. You can't do that in a video. Videos are fine, and maybe I will make a version of that at some point. But no need, you can do that. Where is my game card for this thing? Dang. By the way, this controller does have grips, by the way. And unlike the Switch Pro controller, this has grips. So if you have sweaty hands, that actually might be a good thing. Because this thing has gripping on it. Where the heck is my Tears of the Kingdom copy? It's been so long, chat, since I played this game, I actually don't know what I did. I don't know what I did with my copy. I really need to get some better game cases as well. I actually don't know what I did with my copy of Tears of the Kingdom. Did I put it back in its box? It's been so long, chat, that I forgot where I put the game card. Oh. It was right there in one of my cases. It was... I missed it. It's fine. Alright, now, like I said, we're not going to be in this game for very long. We're only going to be in Tears of the Kingdom for a couple minutes. we're literally just testing the motion controls using arrows. So keep in mind, we're not going to be in here for very long. Oh no. That reminds me, I gotta do coin transfers. They didn't have any cards, huh? Huh. It's been a hot minute, chat, since we've played this game, so bear with me. What about Lemon Guy? What is this about, Lemon Man? Fritz is very happy about this test. He's clicking and clacking away over there and tweeting. Alright, let's go over to somewhere. I don't really know where to go for this. Let's go, like, I don't know. Where do we go to test this? I guess just, like, the thing here is fine. I think there are targets we can actually use to test this. Alright, now one question I do have is the gyroscope in this controller. I am a heavy user of motion controls in my games. I use motion controls a lot. So one thing we're going to test, how is the gyroscope in this thing? Is it any good? One thing, my biggest criticism of the Pro 2 is its gyroscope isn't quite like the Switch, like this built-in Pro controller. So that is one thing we're going to test as well. Now, it's not bad on the Pro 2, to be very clear. It's not bad, but it definitely leaves a little to be desired. I swear there were targets. There are targets. There are two of them right there, and there's a guy trying to slash that one. So we're going to do this. Get the Springo. Get it on level ground. Oh, yeah, here's the test. Okay. That feels good so far. It's a little... actually feels pretty good. I'm moving it around. I'm already doing that, and it feels pretty good. Like, that feels pretty good, actually. But that's just with an object. Let's do a little bit something that's a little more dynamic. That feels okay so far. These targets are gonna be a little sus to hit. I mean, that... okay, hey, where'd I hit? Oh, Dead-Eye Edie! Right in the center. Oh, that's scuffed. It went in the center both times. Not bad. I don't know if these arrows just have aimbot or if that's actually the controller just doing really well here. I'm moving it around. It feels pretty good. In this game, it's specific stuff going on. I'm gonna hit that post right on the top right there. Not bad. Ah, yes, IRL rain. For me, I'm being a lemon. Bruh. Bruh. Okay, I'm just gonna compare that one more time. Just, okay, here's a full... I'm gonna move full left, full right. I mean, it feels pretty natural. It feels fine to me. Let's compare that to the Pro 2, just at a glance. There are so many controllers, chat, that I have to shuffle around. I do miss the SNES feel of the buttons, I will say that, but you do get used to it. Alright, Jay, here we go again. Pro 2 this time. Oh. Oh, not quite. I missed this time. I got close, though, chat. Welcome, fellow travelers. If you are seeing this, I was eaten by a frog. Defeat the frog for a reward. That actually sounds like a genuine side quest, except the guy's just unhinged and not panicked at all about, for some reason, being eaten by a frog. Oh, hey, wait, that's a certified Yoshi's Island moment. Hey, boy. Oh, I will say this. I think... Does that feel better on the new one? Huh. I think the vertical movement, when you move it up and down, might be better on the new controller. Like, I'm messing around with this, and it feels maybe stronger? I mean, it is, but there's some... But if you're an enthusiast, though, you might not feel that way. Let's go back to that. Let's compare it again to, like, the Pro controller. Let's get the actual Pro controller out. Yeah, keep in mind, though, this controller is, like, $30 versus the $70. Yes, I'm using Hannah's controller for this. Keep in mind, 70 versus 30. That's a huge difference in price. I have high sensitivity turned on, by the way. I think I whiffed that shot so bad. Man, for some reason, with the Pro, with the Ultimate C controller, I hit my shots, like, first time in the center of the targets. Yeah. Let me tell you, between the Switch Pro and the Pro 2, compared to the 8bitdo Pro 2, the Switch Pro controller, I feel like has a better gyroscope, because the vertical is a little bit better on it. Like, I am already noticing a huge difference there, and there might be a difference with the new one, with the Ultimate C. Let's go back over to this one. I might not even need a test of Mario Kart, to be honest with you. Very funny, Hannah, very funny. You have it next. 8bitdo giveaway? Maybe 8bitdo can give me some controllers to give away, huh? 8bitdo, send me free stuff. Yeah, it's better. It's better. It's a little different. Now, maybe it's in my head, but it maybe feels stronger. That might just be me, but it feels a little better to me. Maybe, is it even... Okay, let's go for some target practice again. Why do I just hit every shot with this controller? That guy got hit the arrow instead, I think. I didn't hit that one, but I got this other target, like, first try. So if that says anything. Maybe I just feel confident with the 8bitdo. No, I think the Switch Pro still might have an advantage in the gyroscope. The gyroscope feels better on the Ultimate C, though. I will say that much. It feels a little better. It's not, like, perfect, but it does feel pretty good on the Ultimate C. I think it's better than the Pro 2. Let's compare again with the Pro 2. One more time. And this is over wire. I'm doing this over wire, by the way, just for consistency. Oh, it's hard to say. I like my Pro 2, but if the gyroscope's better on the new one, that might be the one I want to stick with. Oh, not a blood moon right now. No, come on. Yeah, I like to point out, it is better, confirmed, better on the Ultimate C. We gotta, oh crap, chat, we have to hurry. We're about to get a blood moon. Oh crap. Making your obsession with frogs and wanting to send them to the Nether or Shadow Realm, or both. I can confirm the gyroscope is better on the Ultimate versus the Pro 2. That's a huge selling point for me. Alright, now it's time to do the poor Link. Oh no. No, not Blood Moon. Not Blood Moon. No, we got to do a cutscene.
When the glow of the blood-stained moon shines upon the land, the aimless spirits of slain monsters.
Yes, skip. Skip.
The world is threatened once
It won't
again.
let me do it. Just skip. Let me tell you, this feels like the Pro controller. It's better. This is better, by the way. The gyroscope in this is way better than the Pro 2. I love my Pro 2, but man, this gyroscope, I feel like it could be placebo, but there is a subtle difference in this that makes it better for when you're going like this, like when it's vertical. That feels better to me. So that's a plus. Now, time to do, what we did to the stream series. Link must face the same fate. Poor man. Overall, with the Switch console itself, yeah. Not bad. Little controller, not bad. Not bad at all. So far, I like it better than the Pro 2 when it comes to its gyroscope. So, gyroscope testing, yeah. This is better. Now, I will say one thing. We have not tried it on PC yet, but I will say this. Very nice controller so far. Now, I was going to actually test this in Mario Kart, but I really don't feel the need to use motion controls with Mario Kart this time. We kind of already did that in Tears. I feel it's a little repetitive to do it again, so we're going to make this quick. We have one final game that we're going to this is a test with. We're going to use Rewaz and Fortnite Battle Royale. We're going to emulate it as a Switch or a DualShock controller, and we're going to see how it plays. We're going to have to maybe do some configurating. So let's get that ye old capture card switched around. One last time for this segment. Where the heck is my cable? It's around here somewhere. I just don't know where I put it. Hopefully my camera isn't doing weird stuff as I move this cable around. And I promise this, I know we're a little over, but we're gonna make this as quick as we can. Also, only single player thing I'm doing all week, so bear with me. Alright, now this is the real test. Is it worth its salt in PC? I'm gonna open up my Epic game. And we're gonna see if it's any good. We've tested it on Switch. Let me say, fantastic Switch controller so far for Nintendo Switch. Let's see if it's any good on PC. Using some third-party trickery, software trickery, we can make the game run on our computer. Let's boot up Fortnite, make sure I'm overclocking. I think I may have had to restart this. Let's overclock. Make sure my audio is working for this too. And then we're going to jump right into Mario Kart after that. Let's restart the audio engine. I think capture card is having some issues. Huh. Uh-oh, did I plug it into an out? Gosh darn it. I put an out into an in. That's not gonna work. That's like trying to plug a male USB into another male USB port. Or to a male cable. It doesn't work. Literally the same logic. Oh, the Yoshi card spin. Oh yeah, I gotta plug this into my computer instead of the Switch this time. Let's plug it in. Let's do it. Restart my audio engine. Oh, hold on. We have a gift. Is that from Dev? I got an emote. Thank you. It's not letting me move the window. I want to move the window. I can't even show off the gift because it's not letting me move the window. There we go. Move it up to my proper monitor. I actually would like to see this. All right, let's show you the process. I never show off this process most of the time. Let's do it now. All right. We got Rewaz up here. Let's open it up. We got a Fortnite profile already made for it. That's not my profile. What's my... Oh, did it switch to DualShock 4? It switched Pro to DualShock 4. This should carry over as well. Alright, we got a controller. It's working exactly the same as my other one. What is in the... I heard you guys like the item shop. What is the item shop? Oh, they have the Legends pack back in. Oh, they have, like, the aquatic characters back. You know, I like this item shop layout. I actually don't mind this item shop. I actually don't mind this. I don't mind that. Or that item shop. Let me make this less confusing on myself by making sure my controller platform is Xbox so I can see the buttons. I have this mapped a certain way of third-party stuff, by the way. Alright, we're gonna do something really stupid. Oh, I have to do these stupid quests anyway. Let's just get into it. If we're gonna have to test this, that's right. My stupid butt, without actually using this controller, is gonna jump into a ranked match without ever testing this on Fortnite with my setup at all. Oh, and don't worry, we are gonna be playing Fortnite with viewers later. We are going a little over, but we're gonna do one of these. So we're not gonna be in this one too long either, but we're gonna see how this goes. Alright, the final test. Can this controller... Yes! Lemons are acceptable! I don't care if I get stream sniped. I really don't care. I'm just going in to test this. I'm probably going to get my butt handed to me anyway. Oh my gosh, the gyroscope's stronger. Dude, there's a huge difference in this gyroscope. It's so much better. Why is this gyroscope just better? I gotta actually go in and adjust this. It's so strong. Like this, I have to turn my sensitivity down. I will say it does feel better. I might need to actually tweak my gyroscope settings. Also, I'm gonna have to change my run button binds, because that is not gonna work. This is gonna be in adjustments, chats. Oh, that's an adjustment. Where should we go? It does feel weird. Screenshot? Yeah, soon. Very. Actually, after this. And by the way, I'm not finishing this match. Damage with rare or better weapons. Okay, thanks, Fortnite. Sucky quest. Don't... Okay, whoops. Don't worry, I'm only gonna be spending a little time. I'm not even gonna finish this match. I don't care about this mode. I'm just doing this for, like, testing. I really don't care. it feels, the controller does feel a little different, so the gyroscope's different too. So I may have to go in at some point if I ever choose to use this with Fortnite and like reconfigure this. Also my run button, if the analog stick, everything just feels so different with this controller. It feels weird. Like, it feels very much like an Xbox. It's so... You don't know how weird it is, though, going from, like, a symmetrical to this. It feels so weird. Going from, like, symmetrical to asymmetrical is so bizarre. It feels so weird. Like, it feels almost unnatural to me. I hate a rare weapon, dude. Well, that feels good so far. I don't know about you, chat. That feels pretty good. Okay. I mean, this feels really good. I need a good weapon, though. I gotta, like, get my quests. I don't want to, like, get too many kills either, because I really don't want my rank going up to crazy levels. I just want my challenges. Dang it. I'm not finishing that guy. Ooh. It feels good. Oh, this feels so good, chat. This feels so good. This feels so good. Like, I feel like I'm hitting shots with this better than my other controller. And I haven't even adjusted my my settings yet. I didn't even calibrate this, by the way. I didn't even calibrate it, and it already feels better. So, hey, that's a win all around for this controller. I think that's all I need to, like, really test, to be honest. Overall, it feels good. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting used to that analog stick. I will say that. Like, I'm having a little trouble. All right, chat. Now you know what we got to do. It must be done. Just like Link. We all know what's gonna happen. I placed like at least 3 or 4 things down before I died. Boys, we got bronze 1! That's exactly what I would want. Because I want to just do my stupid challenges, and I don't want to deal with people. That's great. All bots. Yes! I don't play this game for crap, so I'm glad it gave me bronze 1. I couldn't have asked for any better than bronze 1. And also, I could get the silver if I wanted to. I just don't give a crap. Alright, I think it's time to give the final verdict on our friend here. After a lot of testing. I don't actually know how you power this down. Oh, that's how. That's the sync button. I don't know how you turn this off, though. You hold the 8bitdo button. That's how you turn that. You hold this down, that turns it off, by the way. Alright, let me give the final verdict on this controller. Overall, it's a little bit of an adjustment for me, but if you do like Xbox controllers, you will like this. I will say, despite being the same analog sticks, I think these might be, at least they feel, a little more elevated than the previous models. It feels a lot like an Xbox. It feels really good overall. If you like Xbox style controllers, this is probably one of the best I've used in a long time. The D-pad on this controller, the D-pad is really good. It's better than anything I've used so far. And I love the Pro 2. I love the symmetrical design. But this D-pad is better than the previous model by a decent margin. Like, it feels like a retro D-pad in a modern package. The front shoulder buttons are fine. They are very tactile and clicky. I did kind of critique them, but you don't really notice that as much. Like, it feels good when you're playing. And the back triggers, I actually like the fact that they're clicky. They're not like Xbox style, they're clicky and responsive, like a Switch controller. They're very, like, low. The travel on these is pretty good, too, so you could go pretty easy on the rapid fire, and that's from a casual perspective. The plus and minus and star button, the star button is a screenshot button, by the way, as well, on Switch. These all feel, they're a lot easier to reach with your hands. They're easier to reach than the actual Switch Pro, by the way. They're much better in terms of layout. And so is the home button. You can literally go like just like this. You can just reach it with your thumb. Like, oops, sorry. From like either side, and you're gonna do it. So I will say this, the ergonomics are really good on this. The analog sticks feel good. It's a little bit of an adjustment for me to get used to. Because again, I've been using symmetrical for I don't know how long. And it's a bit of an adjustment if you're going from symmetrical sticks, but this is good. The only thing is I wish these were flat buttons. However, round buttons aren't bad either, and if you prefer rounded buttons like Xbox controllers, this is a good option for you. The wireless is... I was surprised pleasantly by the wireless on this controller. It felt good. At least for our casual stuff, it felt good. The controller feels good in your hands too, and I think the ergonomics might even be a little bit better than the Pro 2 in some ways. The design feels really good. It feels like an Xbox controller or a Switch Pro. It feels more like an Xbox one though, but it feels good. The colors are nice too. I actually don't mind that. I do wish they had a little more nods to its retro controllers. Kind of like how I wish the buttons are kind of like that. But overall, this is definitely... It's called Ultimate for a reason. The gyroscope, by the way, I was pleasantly surprised by the improved gyroscope in this controller. I thought they were just going to reuse the same one from the other one. The gyroscope is better on this controller than the Pro 2. Now, I will say, the Pro 2 is a fine option even still. It's fine. The D-pad still works. I like these square buttons, and it's hard to say. I really do like this one. But it's hard. It's really hard to say, though. Because, man, the D-pad on this one is just better. Like, it feels better. I don't know if it's the placement. I don't know if it's the design. I don't know if it's both. The D-pad feels very intuitive. I wish there were face buttons. I wish there was a symmetrical version of the controller just for retro games. My final verdict, if you're on a budget, or you just like good D-pads, get this freaking controller. It's worth it. For $30, half the price of an OEM Pro controller, you cannot beat that. $30 versus $60, $70 for this one. $30. That's not bad at all. And by the way, there are Xbox versions of this as well. Some ranging for between $20 to $30. So if you are more of a, not Xbox ones, but like there are PC compatible versions and Android compatible versions out there that exists. So if that's more of your thing, you can get a version for that. If you want all of them, if you're willing to pay $70 for all of that in one package, you could get the regular Ultimate. It does have back paddles too. Although, if you don't like back paddles getting in the way, you might just want to get the C-Series controllers separately instead. My final verdict, it's worth it. And I actually might be using this tonight for Mario Kart. I might actually be trying this during an actual game, because I want to give it a try in some other stuff too. I like the feel of the buttons. They're good. Everything, the D-pad is just fantastic on this controller. The improved gyroscope is a huge upgrade. And for me, as a Fortnite player who uses gyro controls, that is a huge deal. The fact that they improved this. The wireless actually works really well on this too. So depending on your environment, you're going to have a good time with this. And if you want, maybe you just want to get some extra controllers. Whether you want to get some extra controllers, maybe if you have friends and family over for gaming sessions, or maybe you just want, maybe are thinking about getting a new controller for yourself, maybe trying something new, I think it's worth giving this a try. If you like Xbox controllers, I would say this is worth giving the try. And again, the D-pad is better. Again, I don't know if this type of controller, I don't know if the other variants of the C model will work with Xbox or not. I know they did that Scum update where they disabled support for a lot of third parties. And if you're a PlayStation user, you might be able to get this working using a third-party adapter. I know Mayflash makes like the Magic NS, which lets you use PlayStation, like lets you use other controllers on PlayStation. I know there are specific adapters out there for it. So you might be able to get this working with PlayStation if you're okay with sacrificing some things like gyro controls. The only thing that I pointed out, it doesn't have Rumble, like HD Rumble. That is the only thing. It doesn't have HD Rumble. So if you really care about HD Rumble, that might be a trade-off you're going to have to live with. But for what you get, it's worth it. And in my opinion, it's worth that trade-off. It's just a nice controller. Overall, if you want a new controller, or maybe you want to have some extra ones around for friends and family, depending on your platform, pick up one of these. It's worth it. Overall, good controller. And I might even be using this myself going forward. Only thing, pay attention to which Ultimate C controller you're getting. This actually happened. Someone in chat actually picked the wired one out, but that was not for Switch. So pay attention to which one you get. There are multiple versions of this controller. The Ultimate C has like 3 different versions. There's the Switch version that has the Bluetooth Switch version. That's this one. That's compatible with Switch input only. Good for Rewa's use on PC if you like motion controls. And it's good for Switch itself. The other versions are the wired one / Bluetooth ones. Those are like 2030, I believe. And that's the Bluetooth one, I believe, is compatible with Android and PC, and along with some other stuff like Raspberry and whatever. And then there's the 2.4 gigahertz version. I haven't tested that a lot. I know that would work with PC. And 2.4 gigahertz is probably better than Bluetooth. In terms, it definitely is probably going to work better than Bluetooth. But considering I had no issues with Bluetooth on this one, you can't go wrong with anything. Overall, conclusion, if you're on a budget or just like good D-pads that are not crap, this is a good option. Better D-pad than the Switch Pro, by the way, I want to point out. And probably one of the best T-pads I've used on a controller in a long time. Maybe the exception of the 3DS / Wii U series controllers. Because 3DS had a good tactile D-pad. Hard to beat that one. But if they could just get that tactileness with this same D-pad, it'd be really good. Even then, though, it might actually be pretty... Actually, this might have the same kind of tactile feel as the those consoles. So, overall, not bad. So, conclusion, if you like 8bitdo controllers, you like retro-style controllers, or good D-pads, maybe you're looking for a budget controller. It doesn't feel like a budget controller, get this one. It's worth it. And if you're an Xbox controller fan, get that one too. And I believe they make Xbox compatible ones too. So give it a try. I see the chat is going crazy with like the name changes. Alright, well, sorry we went a little over on this segment. But it took a little longer to test these in games than I thought it was going to. But remember, this was live. So, you know, not too bad, all things considered. But with that said, I think it's time to switch our segments over here. We're going to start getting ready for Mario Kart. So that kind of concludes our first live review of the Ultimate Seed. It's a first live review, period. Seems like you guys seem to like it. I'm glad I was able to help out a few people with finding controllers, too. At least one or two. I'm very happy about that. Oh, and don't worry, we're gonna do the wheel when we come back, so don't worry. That'll be the first thing we do when I return. I'm gonna real quick just start getting these set up for our next segments. We are gonna be playing some Mario Kart, and by the way, I'm gonna try using this during Mario Kart too. We're gonna continue to use this. I'm gonna give it a try. See if I like it. So let me get this ready. We're going to get things ready to switch over. So give me a second. I got to go to this PC and get a few things switched around. But yeah, overall, I like this controller, and I think it might be one I want to consider trying to use. I'll see maybe if I can mod the buttons as well. Maybe I'll mod those buttons one day. See if I can maybe get my square buttons on, like my flat top buttons on there that I like. I'll just check that. So that might be another little detail we can find out if it works or not. So not too bad, I would say. Let me go ahead and get everything ready. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm just going to open the Mario Kart queue now. Why is the entire chat yellow? Oh, I see. Colors of lemons! Alright, I'm gonna open that up ahead of time. Redemptions will be up in a moment. Those will be back up in a moment. I bet it did. And again, sorry we did go a little over there. There was just a lot to unpack. I'm very happy about this controller having, support for that. That's really nice. Good improvement there, 8bitdo. Nicely done. Alright, well, it's time for me to wrap up this segment, so I do hope you enjoyed our first ever live review. Maybe we'll do more of these in the future. Seems like people liked it enough. Probably not anytime soon. But, you know, is obviously we just blew our review budget on this. But when we come back, we're going to be playing some Mario Kart, so we will be back in just a moment.